Tyler Robinson has been charged with aggravated murder and other related felony offenses arising from the fatal shooting of Charlie Kirk during a public event at Utah Valley University in September 2025. Robinson has entered a plea of not guilty. This is a preliminary hearing. The court is not deciding whether the defendant is guilty or innocent. Instead, the judge must determine whether prosecutors have presented sufficient evidence to establish probable cause for the case to proceed to trial. Over the course of this hearing, the prosecution is expected to call investigators, law enforcement officers, forensic specialists, and other witnesses while introducing physical, digital, and scientific evidence gathered during the investigation. The defense will have the opportunity to challenge that evidence through cross-examination and legal argument, but is not required to present its own witnesses at this stage. At the conclusion of the hearing, the judge will decide whether the charges should be bound over for trial. If so, the case will continue through additional pretrial proceedings before eventually reaching a jury.
Do you solemnly swear that the testimony you are about to give now before the court will be the truth and the whole truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
All right. After you're situated, there should be a bottle of water to your left, maybe behind the monitor. And if you wouldn't mind just bringing that microphone just a little bit closer to you so it picks up your voice for the recording. Mr. McBride, your witness.
Will you please state your name?
Yes, Jennifer Faumuina.
Where do you work?
I work for the Utah Department of Public Safety.
What position do you hold there?
I am currently a sergeant within the State Bureau of Investigation.
What was your assignment September 10th, 2025?
I was assigned to oversee the crime scenes as well as the physical evidence.
And were you sergeant with the State Bureau of Investigation at that time as well?
Yes.
And do you have any kind of specialty in your assignment there?
Yes, I do. I am currently overseeing, or I am the lead over our evidence response team within our division. That includes not only conducting training, but also attending training and whatnot.
Okay. So if we hear ERT, it means Evidence Response Team.
Yes.
Were you called to the crime scene at Utah Valley University on September 10th of 2025?
Yes, I was.
And were there multiple scenes that you oversaw or helped to process?
Yes.
We've had some testimony about the rooftop of the Low C Center. Did you oversee or are you aware of evidence that was collected in that area?
Yes, I am.
Was there a screwdriver that was collected from that rooftop?
Yes.
And do you know how that was collected and what happened to that screwdriver?
Yes, that was collected by the Utah Bureau of Forensic Services Crime Scene Response Team, or also known as our State Crime Lab.
And do you know what happened to that?
Yes, it was packaged, and then that evening there was discussion on who would take custody of the evidence, and I was there along with FBI. Then it was decided that FBI would take custody.
And did that evidence actually go to the FBI?
Yes, it did.
And was it sent for testing?
Yes, it was.
Where was it sent, do you know?
It was sent back to their equivalent of our crime lab.
Okay. Are there other areas there at Utah Valley University that were also processed for the presence of evidence?
Yes, there was.
Is there a wooded area that's northeast of campus?
Yes.
What was found in that wooded area?
What was found there was a long gun that was wrapped in a dark colored towel.
And you say a long gun. What does that mean, a long gun?
Sorry, that would be a rifle. So to be more specific, it was a Mauser 98 rifle.
Do you know what caliber that was?
It was retrofitted to a 30-06 barrel.
And do you know what kind of action that had? Was that a semi-automatic, automatic, bolt action?
It was a bolt action.
What is a bolt action rifle?
I'm not too familiar with guns, but I just know there's a bolt and you have to pull it back.
Okay. And what was done with that weapon and that towel?
That was documented in place, and then eventually pictures were taken. It was documented in place, and then afterwards we rendered that gun safe and then packaged the gun as well as the towel.
What was done with the towel after it was packaged?
The towel was also provided to the FBI.
And those two items, well, let me tie up that thread. The gun, what was done with the gun?
The gun was packaged. It was taken to FBI custody, then eventually it was provided to the ATF lab.
Okay, so the gun went to the ATF lab, is that correct?
Yes,
The towel went to the FBI lab,
yes,
and the screwdriver went to the FBI lab.
yes,
Did you receive reports back from testing that had been done on those items?
yes, I did.
I'd like to show you State's Exhibit 31. I think that's connected to the defense computer right now. Is there any way to switch it? Thank you. Okay, I'm showing you here on the screen State's Exhibit 31. Do you recognize that?
Yes, I do.
What is that?
This is the FBI report that was provided to me by the FBI that documents DNA testing.
And does that include testing that was done on the screwdriver that we've spoken about and the towel that we have spoken about?
Yes, it does.
Okay, what I'd like you to do, Kimberly, if you'd please just scroll down so that Sergeant Faumuina can observe this exhibit. If I can have just a moment. And can you see who that report is signed by?
Yes.
Who's that?
Amanda Baker, I'm assuming is how you pronounce your last name.
Is that, in fact, the report that you received documenting the testing results on these items and some other items from the
Yes.
FBI?
Sorry, yes,
And does it appear to be in an accurate condition as to how you received it?
yes.
I'd move the admission of State's Exhibit 31.
Defense?
No additional objections.
All right, so I'll note the standing objection, and as it relates to admission, what is your request as to publication?
I'd move this admission and its publication both to the court and to the public.
Anything further, Mr. Burke? All right. The court will admit State's Exhibit 31 into evidence and allow publication of this exhibit to the gallery and to the monitor on screen in the courtroom and for the camera to broadcast.
Okay, if you'll go to, Kimberly, if you'll scroll down to, still on page 1, where the screen will show items 7 and 8. Sergeant Faumuina, do you see the lines there that say item 7, that line?
Yes.
And will you read that portion of the report that describes what item 7 is?
Item 7, towel from around Mauser rifle, serial number 8863.
And there's also some other identification numbers. Is that the towel that you found with the rifle that day?
Yes, it
On
is.
September 10th?
Yes.
Item 8, will you read what that says is a description of item 8?
Item 8, screwdriver from perch.
And is that the screwdriver that you described that was collected from the rooftop?
Yes.
Okay. If we can go to page 3 of 6, please. Will you, item 7, sub 1, will you please read the result there from the title item 7 until the word contributors?
It's cumulative, we have the, I'm not sure, this is the court having her read for this.
And would you mind repeating that, but with the microphone? I want to make sure that the record picks up your objection. All right. Either way, if you want to come up, that's fine, Mr. Burke.
Judge, the objection is that her reading to the court what's in the report is cumulative, since we have the analysts here who will be testifying to what the report says and what it means. So you've got the report in evidence. We don't need this witness's reading the report to the court. So it's a 403 cumulative objection.
Mr. McBride, do you wish to respond?
My point is only to draw your attention, Your Honor, to the relevant results that will be discussed by the other expert, as well as the results of the items we've discussed, the towel and the screwdriver. That's all.
All right. The court will overrule the objection and allow a brief overview of it, not going line by line, page by page. So if it is brief, I'll allow that.
Thank you. So if you'll read item 7.1 to the word contributors at the top of that page, if you will.
Yes. Male DNA was obtained from item 7 sub 1, item 7 sub 1 was interpreted as originating from two individuals, one of whom is Twigs. The DNA results from item 7 sub 1 are 1.7 octillion times more likely if Twigs and T. Robinson are contributors than if Twigs and an unknown, unrelated person are contributors.
Thank you. Let's skip down to item 8.1. Do you see that bolded and underlined
Yeah.
line there?
Yes.
And this is relating to swabs of the handle area of the screwdriver. Is that right?
Yes.
Will you read those same two paragraphs there? Male DNA ending with contributors.
Male DNA was obtained from item 8 sub 1. Item 8 sub 1 was interpreted as originating from two individuals, one of whom is Twigs. The DNA results from item 8 sub 1 are 30 quintillion times more likely if Twigs and T. Robinson are contributors than if Twigs and an unknown, unrelated person are contributors.
Okay, thank you. A couple of foundational questions before we finish for now. First off, do you know who Twigs is?
Yes.
Who is Twigs?
Twigs is Lance Twigs. He was a roommate of Mr. Tyler Robinson.
And do you know if Lance Twigs' DNA was obtained for comparison in this test?
Yes, it was.
And how was that DNA obtained?
It was obtained by law enforcement officers.
And was that by a buccal swab?
Yes.
What is a buccal swab?
A buccal swab is basically like a Q-tip or a swab that we'll just place in someone's mouth and just scrub the inside of their mouth to obtain the cells.
And then that Q-tip is then packaged and sent to the lab for testing and comparison?
Yes.
And was the defendant, Tyler Robinson's DNA, also collected in the same manner?
Yes, it was.
Okay. Thank you. Nothing else.
Right. Mr. Burt, cross-examination.
Your Honor, I'd like to reserve the right to cross-examine testimony after the following.
Oh, would you mind grabbing the microphone? I just want to make sure what you say is on the record.
With the court's permission, I'd like to reserve the right to cross-examine on the area she testified about until she's completed her testimony.
Okay, I see what you're saying. Any input, Mr. McBride?
Your Honor, that's what we expected to happen. We
Okay.
discussed this beforehand. We stipulate.
All right, that's fine. And so should I have the sergeant step down or?
Yes.
Okay. Sergeant, if you'd like to step down, you're still under oath, and so please don't discuss your testimony with anyone. And is she being asked to exit the courtroom, or what's the request of the parties?
Yes, to exit the courtroom at this
Okay.
time.
All right, Agent, if you wouldn't mind exiting the courtroom, and then we'll come get you when we're ready for you. All right? Thank you. All right, Mr. Burt, turning to you.
Your Honor,
All right, Sergeant, if you wouldn't mind coming forward and being brought into the courtroom. All right, Sergeant, if you'd like to come forward, you're still under oath from your previous testimony from the previous day, so if you'd just like to come up to the witness stand, be seated. To your left, behind the monitor, should be a bottle of water. After you're situated, if you wouldn't mind just pulling that microphone toward you to ensure that the audio is picked up. Mr. McBride, your witness.
Sergeant Faumuina, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
We briefly covered some of your involvement in this case the other day. I want to return back to your initial assignment to this case. When were you first assigned to go to the campus of Utah Valley University?
On September 10th of 2025.
What time did you get that assignment?
I believe it was approximately 1:30 p.m.
And where were you when you received that assignment?
I was at a headquarters office in Salt Lake.
And did you go directly down to the campus?
Yes, I did.
And will you describe what you're seeing as you arrived there?
Yes, when I arrived there, I actually arrived near the south end of campus, and that's where I saw multiple police cars as well as multiple officers from various agencies. Then I was asked to respond to our command post, which was in the Fugal building there.
And the Fugal building, we've had some testimony about this, but is that just to the south of the courtyard?
Yes, that is.
And were you there while officers were securing campus?
Yes, I was.
And do you know generally how that was done?
I don't know the specifics, but I do know that officers were canvassing the area, trying to look for a suspect, but also trying to see if anyone else was injured, and then making sure that the scene was secure and that no unauthorized people were allowed in.
And I think you testified earlier. What was your primary assignment?
My primary assignment at the campus, as well as throughout the case, was to oversee the crime scenes as well as the physical evidence.
Before you could do your work on the crime scenes, did the campus have to become secure?
Yes, it did.
And did that involve making sure there was no active shooter on campus?
Yes.
And did that involve officers searching buildings and clearing buildings throughout campus?
Yes.
You mentioned that were there multiple areas that were processed by you and other crime scene analysts in this case?
Yes, there was. Would you like me to go over them?
Let me direct you to a few of them. Well, yes, please mention the scenes.
Yeah, so one scene was a courtyard area, or I guess what we could also refer to as the amphitheater where the event took place. The other scene would have been the Fulton Library, where there were 2 bus stops. And then another would have been the wooded area. And then the last one would have been the Lolosi Center building, as well as the ground below.
All right, let's start with the rooftop. What was who was assigned to process the rooftop area?
The team that was assigned to process that was the Utah Bureau of Forensic Services, or also known as our state crime lab.
And generally, what does processing an area involve?
Processing includes documentation, sketching, as well as taking photographs, marking, as well as labeling evidence, and then determining how to package them properly, as well as also just trying to ID anything probative.
On the rooftop was evidence found.
Yes.
What types of evidence were found on the rooftop?
One item of evidence that was found was a screwdriver. Another one would have been what we believe was the shooter's perch. That was determined that was easy to see at night. Using oblique lighting, we could see disturbances in the gravel on the rooftop. And then on the northeast edge, our team also found some swipes on the ledge of that rooftop that was also collected.
Okay, so northeast ledge, and is this the dropping off point?
Yes, it is.
You said swipes. What does that mean, swipes?
Swipes is, I would describe it as kind of hand marks or any type of marks that is left by something that causes some type of disturbance.
Okay. And where on the ledge were those located?
Those were located right on the edge of that right on the edge of that rooftop. And then right below, we also had some other swipes as well as some other impressions. And then below that was a glass window where we also located some latent prints.
Okay. I want to return to what you've referred to as the perch, the sniper position. Were measurements taken from that sniper position to the tent where Charlie Kirk was seated?
Yes.
Do you know the distance?
Yeah, so the distance from the perch area directly to the tent where Mr. Kirk was sitting was approximately 415 feet. If you break it down, so from the perch to the tent, you're looking at it basically like this. And this is the perch, and this is the tent.
And now you're describing, I'm sorry, I have to make a record. You're describing an angle, a slope downward from the perch to the location of the tent. Is that accurate?
Yes, I am.
Okay,
Thank
go
you.
ahead.
Yeah, so the angle, so again, the distance, the perch to the tent was approximately 415 feet. If you think about it, or without taking into account the elevation drop, it was actually 410 feet, so just horizontal straight across. And then the elevation difference between that is approximately 68 feet.
Okay, 410 feet from the perch to the tent with a 68-foot vertical drop. Is
Yes.
that right? On the rooftop, were shoe impressions found on the rooftop?
Yes, there was.
Did those who processed that area of the crime scene collect the latent prints and the shoe impressions that you've talked about?
Yes, they did.
And this is a good point to read a stipulation into the record.
All right.
The language of this has been agreed upon by the parties. The parties stipulate that investigators at the crime scene observed latent fingerprints and a palm print on a glass window near the area where the individual landed when the individual jumped from the rooftop of the Low-C Center at UVU. SBI fingerprint examiner Elisa Farmer examined images of these latent fingerprints and the palm print and determined that only 3 of the latent prints, 11B, 11C, and 11D, were of comparable or of poor comparable value. She excluded Tyler Robinson as the source of any of these 3 latent prints. Ms. Farmer reviewed other prints on the window and found that they did not have adequate value for comparison. Subsequent examinations of these 3 latent or actual latent prints by the FBI were inconclusive. That area that was described in that stipulation, is that the area in the glass window that you're talking about?
Yes, that is.
That's on the northeast corner of the Low-C Center?
Yes.
And that's the area where we see in a video an individual drop from the roof?
Yes.
I want to move on to another area, the courtyard. First, will you describe what that area of the crime scene looked like?
Yeah, so when I arrived on scene, you have different steps. I believe there were maybe like 5 or 6 covered in grass. When I was there, there were personal belongings spread throughout. There was a tent towards the west end of that courtyard area, as well as some banners and some barriers as well.
Was that area processed for evidence as well?
Yes, it was.
What was done to process that area?
Photography, as well as just examining the tent area to see if there's anything there.
And who is assigned to process the courtyard area?
The FBI.
All right, I want to take you to another area, a wooded area. Was there a wooded area that was processed as well?
Yes, there was.
Will you describe, first off, where that area is?
Yes, so this area is located northeast of the Low-C Center building, and it is across from Campus Drive.
Your Honor, could we publish Exhibit 35, please?
Yes.
And if I may approach the witness, I'll put up the hard copy of this exhibit as well.
All right.
Can we publish oh, thank you. All right, on the screen in front of you, will you take a look at Exhibit 35?
Yes.
Do you recognize that?
Yes, I do.
Will you take a moment to orient yourself on that map and tell me when you've found the relevant points that help you understand what this map is of?
Yes.
Do you see the courtyard on that map?
Yes, I do.
Kimberly, can you zoom in to the courtyard area, kind of the center of the... There's a pointer on the screen. Is that the courtyard?
Yes, that is.
All right, now, the Low-C Center, will you describe... well, let's jump to the wooded area. Where is the wooded area that you're talking about, seeing that was processed?
Yep, the wooded area, if you go from the courtyard and you go northeast, you're going to come across this big parking lot, and then if you just go directly north to that.
Okay, at this point, it might be easiest for you to actually indicate on the physical map. If you don't mind just standing up, I'll give you a handheld mic here.
Yes, so the wooded area is approximately right here in this area.
Okay, so just to make a record of the area, on the northern, I guess I'll say, and north is up on this map, is that right?
Yes.
Do you know where Campus Drive is?
Yes, Campus Drive is this road that winds right along here.
Okay, and so that's kind of the windy road that begins in the upper left-hand corner of the exhibit and winds down through the center of the map and kind of exits to the middle right side of the map, is that right?
Yes.
And the wooded area, where is it in relation to the Campus Drive?
It is north of Campus Drive.
Okay, kind of in that, probably the center right of the map, is that right?
Yes, that's correct.
Will you describe, first off, what is on the south side across the street from the wooded area?
Yeah, so on the south side of camp, or the south side of the wooded area, we have the computer science building, which is to, I guess, east. And then we have a parking structure, and we have a walkway along here in between that connects the computer science building and the Lolosi Center building. And then right onto the southwest of the parking lot area is going to be the Lolosi Center building.
Okay. Now, you referred to the area across the street from the wooded area as a parking structure. That's a parking lot, right?
I'm sorry.
And there is a parking structure on campus, correct?
Yes, there is.
But that's different than the parking lot you just mentioned.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Back to the wooded area. What was found? Was anything found in the wooded area of evidentiary value? You can sit down. Thank you. You can take that.
May you repeat your question?
Was anything of evidentiary value found in the wooded area?
Yes, in the wooded area, a rifle that was wrapped in a dark colored towel was found there.
And how did you learn about that?
I found that out because just a little bit before 6 p.m. That day, I received a call from Utah County Sheriff's Office, who was tasked with searching that area.
Do you know why they searched that area in the first place?
Yeah, so they searched that area because I received a video that was from the UVU security footage. This was received by our command post on scene, and it showed who we believe was the shooter on the rooftop run from the southwest corner all the way to the northeast corner, jump down, and then continue to the northeast side of that campus, and then cross the street to Campus Drive, and then the suspect was out of camera's view after that.
Okay, so he ran basically toward and into that wooded area.
Yes.
Right. What were you told from the sheriff's office?
I was told that they found a gun, and from there I asked them to hold the scene, and that myself and FBI ERT team, the lead, Special Agent Kamak, would be en route.
Okay. FBI ERT, FBI Evidence Response Team, right?
Yes.
All right. Did you go to that area?
Yes, I did.
Did you observe the weapon?
Yes.
Will you describe what you saw?
Yeah, what I saw was a rifle that was, or at the time before even having removed it, we found, or in the bushes, we found all you could really see was just a dark towel there. So pictures were taken of that, and then eventually the gun or the towel was removed, and then once we removed the towel from the bushes is when we uncovered that the towel was actually used to wrap the gun in.
Have you reviewed State's Exhibits 10, 10.1, 10.2, and 10.3? Do you remember reviewing these?
Yes.
And are they accurate photographs of the weapon when it was recovered and shortly thereafter?
Yes.
I move the admission of State's Exhibits 10, 10.1, 10.2, and 10.3.
Defense?
No additional objections, Your Honor.
All right, and as it relates to publication, if any?
Yes, I would ask that these be published at all three levels.
All right, any input, Mr. Burt?
Same objections.
All right, I'll note the standing objections from defense. Those are overruled. And 10.10, 10.1, 10.2, 10.3 are admitted into evidence and may be published both in the courtroom and through the use of the camera.
If we can please publish number 10, thank you. You have in front of you on the screen Plaintiff's Exhibit 10. Will you describe what we're looking at here?
Yes, what we are looking at here is actually the bushes where the dark colored towel and the gun were found. You can kind of see the dark colored towel towards the right-hand side of the screen in the middle, right middle.
Kimberly, can you zoom into that area, please? All right, is this a better view of the towel?
Yes, it is.
If we can go to Exhibit 10.1. Will you describe what we're looking at in Exhibit 10.1?
Yes, this is a mid-range shot of, again, the towel that was used, or of the towel and within the bushes.
All right. When this was found and you arrived on scene, what happened with that weapon?
We moved it from the bushes, or say FBI Special Agent Kamak moved it from the bushes. We then placed it on a cardboard box, took pictures of it, and then we removed the towel, packaged the towel separately, took additional pictures of the gun, and then rendered it safe on scene.
Okay, I'll ask you about that more in a minute, but let's go to number 10.2. Will you describe what we see here?
Yeah, so what you see here now is the dark colored towel and the rifle that is in the towel, and it is in a cardboard box.
Why is the towel still around the gun?
We wanted to document as to how it was found.
All right, let's go to 10.3. Is this the rifle?
Yes, it is.
You described making the rifle safe. Will you describe what that is?
Yep, so what that is that we ensure that there isn't anything in the chamber and that there's no other cartridges in the gun that would have it go off. So to do that, because it is a bolt action gun, we would have to manipulate the bolt or the lever back, and then from there see if anything was in the chamber, and then I'd say carefully remove anything that was in the chamber and below it.
All right, what is the difference between a bolt action and an auto ejecting gun?
Yep. A bolt action is one where the user actually has to manipulate the bolt. So they would actually have to turn, or they would actually have to pull it back and forward to, whether it be to load it, lock it, as well as extract anything that's in it. Unlike a semi-auto gun, that is one, every single time you pull the trigger, a bullet will be fired, and then from there, a casing will be extracted out, as well as a new cartridge will then be automatically fed into the chamber.
So if you shoot a bolt action rifle, does that spent shell casing automatically exit the gun?
No, it does not. It will stay in there until the person that is handling the gun actually removes the bolt, or actually pulls the bolt back, and then the casing will be extracted out.
Were you present when this weapon was made safe?
Yes, I was.
Will you describe what was found when that happened?
Yeah, so when we rendered the gun safe, we found in it, when we removed the bolt back, we found one 30-06 cartridge case, or say a fired cartridge case, and we also found 3 unfired cartridges, all with engravings on them.
Okay. I want to make sure we understand the language you're using. When you say cartridge case and you say cartridge, what do you mean?
Yeah. So a cartridge is basically the round itself, right? The whole round. And the round consists of the cartridge case, and then the powder, and then the bullet on top. So the cartridge case, the term is used for something that has been fired already. A cartridge is an unfired round.
Okay. Cartridge is the unfired round that still has the bullet, the powder, and all that.
Yes.
Cartridge case is the fired, is a round that has been fired, and it's just the empty brass casing. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. Was there any, so there was, I just want to make sure I understand, a fired cartridge case and 3 unfired cartridges.
Yes.
Was there anything distinctive about these items?
All 4 of them had engravings on them.
Did you observe those engravings?
Yes, I did.
Did you observe them right there on scene?
Yes, I did.
And what was done with, let's talk about each of those things. First, the towel. What was done with the towel?
The towel was packaged and then it was eventually provided to the FBI.
What was done with the firearm?
The firearm was also packaged and then provided to the FBI as well.
Did the firearm go to the FBI or the ATF?
Oh, sorry, correction. It went to the FBI, and then to be in their custody, and then it was then sent to the ATF lab.
Okay. And the rounds, the cartridge and cartridge cases,
Yep.
cartridges and cartridge case.
Yes, all those were packaged, originally provided to the FBI, then was sent to the ATF lab.
Right? And were each of those items tested?
Yes, they were.
And in the testing, were they photographed?
Yes.
Have you reviewed the photo, and were they photographed by the ATF when they were tested?
Yes, they were.
Have you reviewed their photographs?
Yes.
And were you previously shown States Exhibits 19, 20, 21, and 22?
Yes.
And are those photographs that the ATF, or that you received back from the ATF, of those cartridges and the cartridge case?
Yes.
Did they have the same appearance and etchings that you saw when you observed them removed from the gun?
Yes.
And did those photographs accurately capture those etchings?
Yes.
I move to admit State's Exhibits 19 through 22.
Mr. Burt.
Additional objections.
All right, I'll note the standing objections. Those objections overruled, and 19, 20, 21, and 22 are admitted. And as to publication, Mr. McBride.
I would move to publish these exhibits at all 3 levels.
All right, any further objection from,
No further objections.
thank you. Again, I note the standing objections as are overruled. They may be published both in the courtroom and captured by the media camera.
Let us start with Exhibit 19, please. What are we looking at here in Exhibit 19?
This is the cartridge case that was recovered from the gun.
And what position was this in the gun?
This was this is what was in the chamber.
Okay. And the chamber, meaning that's where a cartridge is before or when it is fired, correct?
Yes.
Do you notice an inscription or an etching on this cartridge case?
Yes, I do.
Will you read what that says?
Yes. Notices bulge.
And if we can go down to page 2 of the exhibit, will you read what this says?
OWO, what's
And to page 3,
this?
and question mark, correct?
Yes, question mark.
All right, if we go to State's Exhibit 20, is this a photograph of one of the cartridges that was found in the gun?
Yes, it is.
And what are we looking at here in this view of page 1 on Exhibit 20?
This is the head stamp of it, and it says it is according to the head stamp, it is a Remington 30-06 Springfield.
Is that a different caliber than a .223 round?
Yes, it is.
Will you look at page 2 of Exhibit 20? Will you read the markings here?
A fascist,
And page 3,
catch,
and page 4?
up arrow, right arrow, down arrow, down arrow, down arrow.
All right, let's go to Exhibit 21. And was this another round that was found in the gun?
Yes.
Will you read the inscription here?
O Bella Chow,
Page 2.
Chow Chow.
All right, let's go to Exhibit 22. Another round that was found from the gun, correct?
Yes.
Will you please read the letters here?
If you read
Page 2,
this, comma, your, or correction, this, comma, you are
page 3,
gay.
and page 4.
LMAO.
All right, after processing the scenes there at Utah Valley University in Orem, did you go to St. George?
Yes, I did.
And what was your role in St. George?
My role was overseeing the execution of the search warrants at both Mr. Robinson's residence as well as his parents' residence.
And we've had testimony that Mr. Robinson was arrested there. Was he fingerprinted and his DNA taken?
They were actually taken at the Utah County Sheriff's Office jail.
After he was transported to
Yes.
Utah County? Okay, you said that there was, were items of evidence collected from him after he was arrested,
Yes, there was.
from his person? What were those things?
They were his clothing that he was wearing at the time of his arrest, to include shirts, pants, underwear, as well as shoes and anything that were in his pockets.
Do you remember what tops he had on?
I believe it was a maroon top.
And was there any other top layer that was collected that you recall?
I don't recall.
Okay. Let's go to, you said there were a couple of homes that were searched there, is that right?
Yes.
Whose homes was that?
One of them was where Mr. Robinson and Mr. Twiggs resided, and the other was Robinson's parents' residence.
want to ask you about the defendant's home. What items were, will you describe some of the items that were collected from that home?
Yep. Some items collected in that home were a Dremel tool and its bits container, as well as two Remington boxes of 30-06 ammunition, as well as some 30-06 cartridge cases, and a handful of long guns or rifles, a revolver, as well as a burned paper.
All right, I want to ask you about clothing as well. Was any clothing collected from the townhome?
Yes, there was.
How about shoes?
Yes.
What kind of shoes?
2 shoes were collected from the home. One was a Converse shoes, gray in color with white laces, I believe a size 10.5. And then another Converse shoes that were also gray, but had gray laces instead, but were of a different size that I can't remember.
I think you said that you collected boxes of ammunition. Do you remember what caliber that ammunition was?
Yes, there are a handful, but the one that I recall was 30-06.
And you also said you found some cartridge cases. Do you remember what caliber those cartridge cases were?
Yes, those were also 30-06.
If we can display just to the witness Exhibit 23. Do you recognize Plaintiff's Exhibit 23?
Yes, I do.
And is that an accurate photograph of the cartridge casings and some of the bullets that you found?
Yes.
I would move the admission of Plaintiff's Exhibit 23.
Mr. Burt?
No further objections, Your Honor.
All right, I'll note the standing objections by defense. Overrule those objections and admit into evidence State's Exhibit 23 as to publication, Mr. McBride.
I would move to publish at all 3 levels.
All right, it is published to the courtroom as well as maybe broadcast via the camera.
As that's coming up, where did you find these?
I found these in what we would consider the spare bedroom, right next to Tyler's bedroom, on top of a safe.
How do you know which bedroom was Tyler's bedroom?
We determined that based off of some documents we found in what we believe was Tyler's bedroom, such as mail that was addressed to him, as well as some school documents as well.
And again, in relation to, will you describe the layout of the house in that area?
Yep, so this was on the 2nd floor. As you're coming up the stairs, if you turn the left up the stairs, you're going to run into 2 bedrooms, and that is on the south end of that residence. The southeast bedroom would be Tyler's, and then the southwest would be the spare bedroom. Again, if you go back to the stairs and you make a right-hand turn, that is where you're now on the north end of that residence, and that is now Twig's bedroom.
And where were these items here in 23 found?
These were found on the southwest, or in the southwest bedroom, the one right next to Tyler's bedroom.
And you said on top of a safe?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Will you describe what we're looking at in Exhibit 23?
Exhibit 23 are the 5 cartridge casings we found on top of the safe. All were 30-06 Springfield caliber, and one of them had an engraving that said "test shot" on it.
You've talked about Springfield, Remington. Are these 30-06s? Are they the same type of round as was found in the gun?
Yes.
All right. Did you find any 30-06 weapons in that house?
No, we did not.
All right. Did you search the closet on the 1st floor?
Yes, I did.
What did you find in the closet?
In the closet, we found on the ground some shooting targets with perforations in it, as well as on the shelf, we found a Dremel tool with bits container.
All right. A Dremel tool with bits. What is a Dremel tool?
It's basically like a handheld device where you can make etchings or engravings on things.
What are bits?
Bits would be I guess like a sharp edge or something that would actually cause the etchings that you would put into the tool.
Is this kind of like a drill bit?
Yes.
Okay. And what did you do with the Dremel and the bits?
We photographed them in place, took additional pictures, packaged them, then sent them for testing to the ATF.
All right. You also mentioned targets. Were those targets photographed?
Yes, they were.
I want to show you on your, and have you reviewed Plaintiff's Exhibit 25 before?
Yes.
And is that an accurate photograph of those targets that you found?
Yes.
I move the admission of State's Exhibit 25.
Mr. Burt?
No further objections?
All right, I note the standing objection, and those objections are overruled.
And I'm-
Stacy,
Excuse me, sorry.
oh, well, did you want to, in regards to publication?
Yes, I'm so used to admission before publishing. I would move to publish those at all 3 levels.
Any further comment, Mr. Burt?
No further objections.
Again, all right, noting the standing objections, those are overruled. State's Exhibit 25 is admitted into evidence and may be published in the courtroom as well as captured by the media camera.
Will you describe what we're looking at here?
Yeah, so these were shooting targets we found in the closet, and each of them have have perforations in them.
You say perforations, what do you mean?
Holes in them.
Those holes consistent with?
Objection, foundation on this opinion?
Mr. McBride, do you want to weigh in upon that objection?
No, I'll submit it. I'll lay foundation if the objection is sustained.
I'll sustain the objection.
All right. Holes. Have you ever shot a gun before?
Yes, I have.
When you hit a target, what happens to the target when it's hit with a bullet?
Hit with a bullet, there's holes in it, what we call perforations, because there's a entrance as well as an exit.
Looking at State's Exhibit 25, I'm going to ask the question that was objected to. You said there's perforations in those. Are those consistent with bullet holes?
Yes.
And I would ask you to describe where those perforations are there's 3 targets here, right?
Yes.
Let's look at the far right target first. Where are the perforations in relation to the bullseye?
They're all probably within the 7, 6, and 8 ring.
Is there a perforation up at the upper left-hand corner of that rightmost target?
Yes, there is.
Do any of those hit the bullseye?
No.
Okay, looking at the center target, will you describe where the perforations are in relation to the bullseye there?
It is closer, but still not it. Most of them are to the left of the bullseye in rings, let's say 9 and 8.
All right, and then the leftmost target, will you describe where the perforations are there?
Yep. The perforations are actually closer to the bullseye as well, actually one being in it.
Okay. All right, you described also collecting a burnt note. We can take down 25. Thank you. Will you describe where that note was found and what it looked like to you?
Yeah. The burnt note was found in the trash can located in the kitchen. The way it looked like to me, it looked like, say you're at like a campfire and someone burns paper.
What was done with that?
That was also collected and that was sent to the FBI for analysis.
Was it photographed?
Yes, it was.
And have you reviewed State's Exhibit 24?
Yes.
Is that a photograph of the note?
Yes.
I move the admission of Plaintiff's Exhibit 24.
Mr. Burt?
No further objections?
All right, and to publication?
I move to publish at all 3 levels.
All right, I'm going to note the standing objection by defense, overrule those objections. And State's Exhibit 24 is admitted into evidence and may be published in the courtroom and may be captured by the media camera.
Do you see here on the screen Plaintiff's Exhibit 24?
Yes, I do.
It looks like as to the evidence tag, it's actually upside down. Is that right?
Yes.
Does it look like there's any writings on that note, on that burnt paper?
Yes.
Will you point that out for the judge where the writing is?
Yep.
And describe what you're pointing at, kind of the general location on the image?
Yeah. So the part that I'm pointing out is the paper that you can still see the lines in them, and as well as some handwriting as well to the edge, to the left edge of that piece of paper.
All right. Have you also observed the image of a note that was recovered from Lance Twiggs' phone?
Yes.
And I'd like to show you side by side Exhibit 24. And there on the left, you see Exhibit, well, let's go. There on the left, we see Exhibit 24. Do you see that?
Yes, I do.
And on the right, you see, excuse me, on the right is 24, on the left it's 16.
Let me stop you, Mr. McBride. I'm not sure, is this being broadcast?
Let's take that down.
All right.
Exhibit 24, thank you, Your Honor. Excuse me, Exhibit 16.3. I would move to publish Exhibit 16.3 and 24 side by side. I think they're currently on the council monitors.
So 16.3 has already been admitted.
And I don't remember the court's order if this was to be captured by electronic media or not.
No, it was not.
Okay.
Is that does that comport with defense's memory as well?
It does.
All right. So 16.3 was published to the courtroom, but not to be captured by the media. So
Very well.
as it's, and what is your request?
To comply with the court's order.
All right. So 16.3 and Exhibit 24 may be published side by side only to the courtroom itself, but not on to be captured by the camera. Also acknowledging that the magistrate can weigh the evidence and is not weighing in on this evidence, solely admitting it. Well, it's already been admitted, but as it relates to the testimony, the court is going to overrule the objection and allow the testimony to be given. Again, whether the court accepts or doesn't accept that will be a determination made when determining probable cause.
Thank you. Do you see any consistencies that did you also collect the defendant's car?
Yes.
Where did you collect that from?
That was collected at the Robinsons' parents' home.
And will you describe that vehicle?
Yep, that vehicle is a gray-colored Dodge Challenger.
All right. You've mentioned that you sent several items to the ATF and the FBI for testing. And did you receive reports back from both of those entities with results of their testing?
Yes, I did.
I'd like to show you on the witness's screen only right now, or counsel's screens, Exhibit 30.
All right, while you're doing that, Mr. McBride, and also, could we go ahead and take down State's Exhibit 35? I know it's just in the background, but just to be consistent on displaying of exhibits. All right, thank you. You may proceed.
Plaintiff's Exhibit 30. Do you know what this is?
Yes, this is the ATF report that I received regarding the DNA testing on the gun and cartridge casings. Or sorry, correction, cartridge case and cartridges.
Thank you. And is this in the same condition as it was when you received it?
Yes.
Your Honor, I'd move the admission of Exhibit 30.
No further objections, Your Honor.
All right, I note the standing objections, and as to publication, Mr. McBride.
Yes, Your Honor. This exhibit deals with DNA testing on the rifle and the cartridges. We would move to have it published at all three levels.
All right, so noting the standing objection by defense, I'm going to overrule that objection pursuant to Utah Rule of Evidence 1102. State's exhibits, and this is 30?
30.
State's Exhibit 30 is admitted into evidence and may be published on screen in the courtroom and for the media camera.
I want to ask you a little bit about the format because it may be helpful to understand here. But on page 1 under the exhibits, we have here a list of items that were sent in for testing and comparison. Is that right?
Yes.
And throughout the report refers to the items compared by the lab number. Is that right?
Yes.
So if we can scroll down just to the bottom of this first page, and here in the DNA analysis section, again, we see that the report or the author refers to the items by their exhibits numbers, right?
Yes.
Okay. And if we can go to page 2, and same question here. The exhibit number on the left, if we want to know what exhibit number that is, we have to refer back to page 1 for the description, right?
Yes.
Okay. And let's keep going to page 3. And if we can just scroll through page 3, 4, and land on page 5. Actually, pause right there if you will. This is page 4. There's a description section here as well. And that description talks about where the swabbing that's used to compare what was swabbed for the comparison. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. Let's go to page 5. So as we look at this first paragraph here under statistical analysis, let's see if you have this notated or no. Exhibits 1.1 and 1.4. Do you know what that is referring to?
Yep, they're referring to 1.1 is swabs of the stock and grips of the rifle, and then 1.4 is swabs of the bolt of the rifle with possible ridge detail and or smudging.
Okay. Will you read paragraph D?
Yes. The DNA profiles are at least 1 trillion times more likely if they originated from Tyler Robinson, Exhibit 7.1, as a contributor to the major components and 3 unrelated unknown individuals than if they originated from 4 unrelated unknown individuals.
And again, that's swabs of the grips and the bolt. Stock and grips and bolt, is that right?
Yes.
Okay. Number 2, calculation number 2. Where is this swab taken from?
Exhibit 1.2 would be swabs of the butt plate of the rifle.
And will you read paragraph D here?
The DNA profile is at least 1 trillion times more likely if it originated from Tyler Robinson as a major component and 4 unrelated unknown individuals than if it originated from 5 unrelated unknown individuals.
Looking at calculation number 3, exhibit 1.3, what areas were swabbed for this comparison?
1.3 is swabs of the trigger and trigger guard of the rifle with possible ridge detail and or smudging.
We read paragraph D.
The DNA profile is at least 1 trillion times more likely if it originated from Tyler Robinson as a major component and 3 unrelated unknown individuals than if it originated from 4 unrelated unknown individuals.
If we can go to page 6. Calculation number 4, exhibits 1.5 and 5.1. What are those?
1.5 are swabs of the forend of the rifle, and 5.1 is swabs of one 30-06 cartridge
And again, that cartridge came from where?
from the firearm.
Will you read paragraph D?
The DNA profiles are at least 1 trillion times more likely if they originated from Tyler Robinson as the major components and 2 unrelated unknown individuals than if they originated from 3 unrelated unknown individuals.
All right, let's look at calculation number 5, 1.6 and 3.1. What are those?
1.6 is swabs of the barrel of the rifle with possible ridge detail and or smudging, and 3.1 is swabs of one 30-06 cartridge
And that 30-06 cartridge came from where?
from the firearm.
Will you read paragraph D?
The DNA profiles are at least 1 trillion times more likely if they originated from Tyler Robinson as a contributor to the major components and 2 unrelated unknown individuals than if they originated from 3 unrelated unknown individuals.
Okay, statistical analysis calculation number 6, exhibit 1.9. Where is that from?
1.9 is the swabs of possible ridge detail and or smudging on the optical accessory of the rifle.
Is that a scope?
Yes.
Okay. Will you read paragraph D?
The DNA profile is 6.28 billion times more likely if it originated from Tyler Robinson as a contributor to the major component and 3 unrelated unknown individuals than if it originated from 4 unrelated unknown individuals.
Okay. On number 7, I'm not going to read that. I think we've gone through this enough. That's the last one in this report. Is that correct?
Yes.
All right. We can go to exhibit 32. 31 was previously received. And just display this on the screen of the witness, please. I think it might display on the gallery video, okay. All right, thank you. Can you see Exhibit 32 on your screen, Agent Faumuina?
Yes.
What is this?
This is an ATF report that I received in relation to the gun as well as cartridge case and cartridges.
And is this report in the same condition as it was when you received it?
Yes.
I move the admission of State's Exhibit 32.
So question for you, was this the report that was previously disclosed in one of the early motions?
Yes.
All right. All right. To Mr. Burtz.
No further objections, Your Honor.
All right. And for publication level?
All 3 levels.
All right. As it relates to State's Exhibit 32, is accepted into evidence, may be published in the gallery as well as electronic. The media camera can capture it. And I note that this has been previously disclosed publicly from an earlier filing, I believe from either late last year or early this year. So for those reasons, it's accepted into evidence and may be published at all levels.
Your Honor, it's 2:30. I probably have 10 more minutes. Would you like to take a recess now or after I finish?
Let's just do the 10 minutes.
Okay. All right, Exhibit 32 is in front of you. And what was being analyzed in this test?
What was being analyzed would have been the cartridge case as well as the bullet fragment and the lead fragments that were recovered from Mr. Kirk at autopsy.
All right. Same question on structure of the exhibit. The lab numbers and agency numbers are listed here on the first page, right?
Yes.
And if you want to know what the report is talking about, you have to refer back to there, right?
Yes.
All right. I want to have you read, if you can scroll down to the bottom of page 1. Thank you. I would ask you to read the second line under results of examination.
Yes. The Exhibit 1 rifle was test fired and found to be in operable condition. The test fires were designated as Exhibit 1.11.
And again, Exhibit 1 rifle is what?
Is the one that we found on campus.
Okay. Exhibit 2, if you'll look at the next, skip the next line and then go to the Exhibit 2 cartridge case, will you read that sentence?
Yes. The Exhibit 2 cartridge case was identified as having been fired in the Exhibit 1 rifle.
Okay, now I want to jump back up to the top where it lists the exhibits. 2 through 5, will you explain what those are and where they came from?
Yes. That would be the items we found in the gun on scene, and this was the gun that was found in the wooded area.
And so the cartridge case is the round that had been, is the case that had been fired.
Yes.
Okay, so that's number 2. All right, I can't remember, did we already read that line? Exhibit 2 cartridge case?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Will you also look at or read the last paragraph on this page?
Yes. The Exhibit 2 cartridge case and Exhibit 3 through 5 cartridges were examined for the presence of comparable tool marks. Tool marks were located on the exterior of the Exhibit 2 cartridge case and Exhibit 3 cartridges, in parentheses scribe marks, that are consistent with being produced by engravings and or rotary cutting tips commonly found.
Let's scroll down, please, Kimberly.
Installed in handheld rotary tools, such as a Dremel tool. These tool marks contain marks of value for comparison if a suspect tool is located.
Okay. I'd ask to scroll back up to show the exhibit list. Number 6. What is Exhibit 6?
Exhibit 6 is the bullet fragment, the bullet jacket fragment, as well as some other fragments that were recovered from Mr. Kirk at the time of autopsy.
Thank you. Going back to page 2, will you read the first full paragraph there, beginning with Exhibit 6?
Yes. Exhibit 6 consists of one .30 caliber class deformed damaged bullet jacket fragment and 4 lead fragments.
Will you read the next paragraph as well?
The Exhibit 6A bullet jacket fragment could not be identified or excluded as having been fired from the Exhibit 1 rifle based on an agreement of all discernible class characteristics and neither sufficient agreement nor sufficient disagreement of individual characteristics. The results of the comparison was inconclusive.
And if you'll look at the line starting with the Exhibit 6B through 6E, will you read that sentence as well?
The Exhibit 6B through 6E lead fragments are not suitable for microscopic comparison.
Thank you. We can take Exhibit 32 down. Exhibit 33, if we can show that just to the witness, please. You recognize Exhibit 33?
Yes.
What is that?
This is an ATF biology report on the Dremel tool as well as the cartridge cases that were found on top of the safe in Tyler's home.
Did you receive this from the ATF in response to your request for testing?
Yes, I did.
I move the admission of State's Exhibit 33.
No further objections, Your Honor.
Thank you, Mr. Burt. Noting the standing objections by defense and level of publication, Mr. McBride.
All three levels.
Court overrules the standing objections and State's Exhibit 33 is admitted into evidence and may be published in the courtroom as well as captured by the media camera.
What was being tested here?
The Dremel tool, the bits container, as well as the cartridges and cartridge casings we found in Tyler's home.
And up in the top right, it says forensic biology. Is this DNA testing?
Yes, it is.
Okay, format of this is the same as the other report that we already looked at, right?
Yes.
Let's jump to page 4. Calculation number 1. It mentions here Exhibit 15.1. Do you know where that swab is from?
Yep. It is swabs of the buttons of the Dremel tool.
And will you read paragraph D?
Yes. The DNA profile is at least 1 trillion times more likely if it originated from Tyler Robinson as a contributor to the major component and 2 unrelated unknown individuals than if it originated from 3 unrelated unknown individuals.
We also read paragraph E.
The probability of an unrelated individual in the population who has not contributed DNA to this sample yielding this level of support is less than 1 in 1 trillion.
Thank you. I'm not going to ask you to read those paragraphs for the rest of the statistical calculations, but I will ask you to go through and identify where the swabbing came from. Exhibit 15.3, which is calculation number 2, where's that swab from?
As swabs of the cord of the Dremel tool.
Exhibit 15.5.
That would be swabs of the longest metal bit of the tool.
Going on to page 5. Calculation number 4, exhibit 15.6.
15.6 is swabs of the shortest metal bit.
And calculation number 5, 18.1.
This is swabs of 1 etched 30-06 cartridge case.
What is that? Where did that come from?
That come from on top of the safe.
Okay. Is that the one that had the etching test shot?
Yes.
Will you read the paragraph D as it relates to the test shot swab?
Yes. The DNA profile is at least 1 trillion times more likely if it originated from Tyler Robinson as a major component and 2 unrelated unknown individuals than if it originated from 3 unrelated unknown individuals.
Thank you. We can take exhibit 33 down. The final report is 34, if we can publish that just to the witness. What is State's Exhibit 34?
This is an ATF report I received that was comparing tool marks.
And is this, I move the admission of Plaintiff's Exhibit 34 and publication at all 3 levels.
Mr. Burt.
No further objections.
All right. And, all right, so State's Exhibit 34 is admitted. The objections, the standing objections by defense are overruled. They may be published in the courtroom and captured by the media camera.
Okay, looking at the exhibits, might have to go back and forth here, but let's go to page 2. And will you read the paragraph that starts with Exhibit 18 consists?
Yes. Exhibit 18 consists of 5 .30-06 Springfield caliber fired cartridge cases, designated Exhibits 18A through 18E, and 15 .45 auto caliber unfired cartridges, designated Exhibits 18F through 18T.
Okay. 18A, do you know what 18A is?
Yes, this would have been the .30-06 cartridge case with the engravings test shot on it.
Okay. Will you read the paragraph beginning with the Exhibit 18A?
The Exhibit 18A cartridge case was examined for the presence of comparable tool marks. Numerous sets of tool marks were located on the exterior of the Exhibit 18A cartridge case that are consistent with being produced by engravings and/or rotary cutting tips commonly found installed in handheld rotary tools, such as a Dremel tool. These tool marks contain marks of value for comparison.
Okay. The next paragraph I asked you to read is the one that starts with Exhibit 16. But first I want to ask you, do you know what Exhibit 16 is?
I do not, off the top of my head.
Okay. 18, it also says Exhibit 18A through 18E. Do you know what those are?
18A through 18E would be the cartridge cases that were found on top of the safe.
Okay. If you'll read paragraph, or that paragraph.
Which one again, sorry?
The one starting at Exhibit 16 and.
Yes. The Exhibit 16 and Exhibit 18A through 18E cartridge cases were identified as having been fired in the Exhibit 1 rifle.
Okay. Let's now jump to the paragraph beginning, the test tool marks. Kimberly, if you could scroll down. Will you please, well, first off, 15A and 15B, do you know what those are?
Yes, those would be the longest metal bit and then the shortest metal bit.
Okay. If you would read, okay, and then also Exhibits 2, the Exhibit 2 cartridge case, what is that?
This would have been the cartridge case that was found in the gun.
And Exhibits 3, 4, and 5 cartridges?
They were the ones also found in the gun.
And Exhibit 18A?
Is the one that was found on the safe.
Okay. If you'll read the first bullet point there, the Exhibit 15A.
Yes. The Exhibit 15A engraving cutter was identified as having made tool marks located on the Exhibit 2 cartridge case, Exhibit 3 through 5 cartridges, and Exhibit 18A cartridge case.
And will you, okay. We can go ahead and take that down. Your Honor, I want to, before I ask to enter my final line of questioning, I would like to show the witness Exhibit 12.1, and this is the video, the UVU surveillance video. Let's see, I think it's 12.4 was the surveillance video actually that was approved for publication.
That's correct. That's the
And-
unmarked, non-zoomed version, correct?
Is that correct? Yes.
Yes, that's the one that, yes.
And just for now, let's do this on the witness's screen, 12.4, and I'll ask you to jump to the 804 mark. Okay, I'd move to publish. We intend to play about 10 seconds of this video. I'd move to publish that at all 3 levels.
Mr. Burt?
I'm not sure what the relevance is at this point, so it's hard to object or not. I would ask for a proffer as to what it's showing, because it's not apparent from the exhibit.
Understood. Proffer is, there's been testimony about about prints being found on the glass window of this building. This exhibit demonstrates the suspect's behavior in that area.
All right. Anything further?
With that, I don't have any further objections.
All right. So it may be published. This is already admitted, and it may be published at all levels.
Okay, before you pause, before you hit play here, Sergeant Faumuina, do you see what's on the screen in front of you?
Yes, I do.
Can you see the suspect in this image?
Yes.
Will you describe where that suspect is?
He's on the rooftop, let's say on the gravel part, And this would have been close to the northeast side of that building.
Timestamp is 12:23:47 PM, is that right?
Yes.
And that portion of the image that we see there, the video, is the top portion of the image slightly to the left of center, is that right?
Yes.
Okay, we're at 8:01. Kimberly, will you please hit play there? Let's go ahead and pause it. Pausing it at 8:20. Were you able to determine if the suspect touched the glass when he dropped from the roof?
Not at the time when we first saw the video, no.
Okay. Were you later able to make any determination on that?
Yes, because the video we had was pretty grainy at the time on at the command post, and it wasn't until we're actually able to get the footage directly from UVU.
And when you actually got that footage, could you zoom in and get a better picture?
Yes.
And were you able to determine at that time whether the suspect touched the window?
Yes.
What was your determination?
We determined that he was not, or he did not touch it.
Thank you. Nothing else?
All right. Let's go to a break. To defense, I realize that you began talking about your concerns. You have a witness that needs to leave today. 10, 15 minutes, what's your request? I want to maximize your ability to have time with your witnesses as well as cross if you choose to.
Thank you. Just 10 minutes would be fine.
All right, let's break for 10 minutes and then come back and cross-examination. Court is in recess. Please be seated. Court is back in session. Noting the presence of all parties, we just ended with a direct examination of the sergeant. Turning to defense, Mr. Burt,
Thank
your
you.
witness.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Your role in the case was kind of as the traffic manager of the whole operation, right?
That's a good way to put it, yeah.
And we're talking about multiple agencies besides the SBI, correct?
Yes.
Your agency, if I'm correct, wrote a massive report, 229 pages long.
Yes.
You've read that, you're familiar with it.
With most of them, yes.
Okay, and it's a compilation, right? You authored some reports, but a lot of other people wrote reports about aspects of the investigation.
Yes.
And as those reports were getting done, you would kind of read them and decide what needed to get done further?
Yes.
Was that one of the roles that you
Yep.
performed in this case?
Yes, as well as consulting with the case agents.
Okay. Now, if my count is correct, 9 of those reports in that larger body of reports was written by you, correct?
Yes.
Did I miss any? Does
There are
that
more,
sound about right?
yeah.
Okay. I want to ask you about a couple of those reports. The first report was a report that you wrote on September 22nd that documented the overview of the crime scenes, correct?
Yes.
And there were various crime scenes that you've described on direct examination, correct?
Yes.
One of them was the Fulton Library.
Yes.
Tell us why that was a potential crime scene.
Yeah, of course. When officers were canvassing the scene, they were also trying to see, right, the route of the shooter as well as just trying to find the shooter. And they determined that the Fulton Library stood out because there were unattended items there at the bus stops that were away from the courtyard area, and so to them they thought it was suspicious.
And were certain items seized from, and what were they?
Yes, you had a backpack, a jacket, as well as some gloves, and there may have been some other things. I just don't recall them right now.
And do you recall what the item numbers were of those seizures? Was it 9? Does that ring a bell?
I don't remember.
Whatever was seized was sent to the FBI lab for processing?
Yes,
And along with some information that the suspect may have shed some of these items as he fled, correct?
yes,
Was a decision at some time made, and you were requesting that both DNA and other type of analysis get done?
yes.
At some point, did you decide to pull a plug on that?
At the time when it was already sent, we didn't have more information as far as whether or not the evidence that were collected there were probative.
But eventually you communicated to the lab that those items were not in fact connected with the case and there was no need to do further testing.
I don't remember communicating that.
Okay. If that's in the notes of the FBI or the ATF, would that be inconsistent with what you know?
No.
Okay, I'm mentioning because some of the reports, the lab reports, have those items listed.
Okay.
I just want to be clear that those items, eventually you determined were not related to this case. Would that be fair?
Yeah, that would be fair.
Okay. The second report, at least as far as I can see, that you wrote was on September 24th, and it had to do with looks like a request for a search of firearms. Do you recall that?
Could you elaborate for me on the firearms?
This document documents the NIBIN request for firearms.
Yes, so that was the request to conduct, what that stands for, the NIBIN, is the National Integrated Ballistics Information Network. It is run by the ATF, and that is where we test, or we input test fires or cartridge casings, the head stamps and whatnot, into a machine that is then run through the ATF to see if there's any other cartridge casings that match.
And nothing of value came from that part of your investigation, correct?
Correct.
Now, going back for a minute to the crime scenes, you talked about the wooded area, and you used the phrase, "we seized the towel." Who is we? Who are you referring to when you say "we seized the towel"?
We would be SBI as well as FBI. So that would be myself as well as FBI Evidence Response Team Lead Michelle Kamak, or Special Agent Michelle Kamak.
So you both reached into the bushes and you both grabbed it and pulled it out?
She did, but I was there with her and we were communicating that entire time.
Okay, so when you say "we seized the towel," what you really mean is she seized the towel and you observed her seize it.
Yes.
And when she sees a towel, can you describe a little bit more detail of how that process took place?
As far as when it was found or when she removed it?
Yeah, the photographs you showed us, were those the best photos you've got of that process?
That was taken by the FBI, so that's all we got.
That's all you got. And nobody was videoing the discovery and recovery of that evidence?
I believe one of the officers on scene actually had his body camera on.
And have you seen that?
I have not.
Do you know if there's any documentation of the exact process by which that towel got removed from the rifle and then, I guess, put back on the rifle, right?
No, it was not.
It was not put back on?
No.
Didn't one of the photos show the rifle in the box with a towel over it?
Yes. It
So-
wasn't over it. It was still wrapped around the gun.
Okay, but as I understood your testimony, the towel was seized by the FBI agent, and then somebody must have reached in and got the gun out, right?
No, I'll clarify for you. So
Sure.
the entire time when we retrieved it, the gun was wrapped in the towel. So when Special Agent Kamak reached in, she grabbed not only the towel but also the gun, and it remained, and the towel and the gun remained basically intact, lack of a better word, and then was placed onto the cardboard box, which is one of the photos that was shown earlier. Once we documented that, and then the towel was removed from the gun.
You also mentioned as to the other crime scenes that we processed it, but was your role in terms of your actual participation limited to the wooded area? Or were you involved in actually seizing evidence at the other locations, like the roof?
Yeah, I was involved in coordinating all that, and then determining from there where the evidence would go.
Involved in, is that the same thing as actually being on the roof and seizing the items? Or are we talking about something else?
Talking about something else.
And what is that something
So
else?
after the teams would have packaged all the items, sealed them properly, created an evidence log, they would then bring it back to the command post, and from there, we would compile everything, and then there was a discussion that was had as to who would take custody.
Fair to say that you did not observe yourself the seizure of the screwdriver from the roof?
Correct.
And who were the people who were actually conducting that part of the crime scene processing?
That would have been our state crime lab, those two people are part of our state crime lab's crime scene response team.
When did you review the video of the suspect running toward the area from which he jumped off?
That would have been, I don't know the exact time, but it would have been the day on September 10th.
You saw that on September 10th.
Yes.
And when were the windows processed for the latent fingerprints?
The windows were processed on September 11th, the next day.
And was the reason that those latent lifts were taken was because you wanted to rule out whether the suspect had touched that window?
Yes.
That's what the notes say, right?
Yes.
You were not present when that scene was processed either, correct?
Not the entire time, no.
Okay. Now, the other reports that I have that you did, and correct me if I'm wrong, is one report dated September 24th, documenting the forensic analysis as of September 24th, summarizing what you were hearing back from the ATF and the FBI.
Yes.
Okay. And then the fifth report was, again, about the crime scene progress of the forensic testing, right?
Yes.
All right. And then you have a report here which documents a firearm trace and a firearm seized at River Street.
Yes.
Nothing of value came of that, correct?
Correct.
You have a report that has to do with the latent print report from your people, SBI.
Yes, or it's not SBI, it's actually the State Crime Lab, but yes, same department.
Same department. Just detailing the results of that examination, which the stipulation addressed,
Yes.
right? You have a report documenting the transfer of evidence from the FBI to your department.
Yes.
And then the last one that I have that you personally wrote has to do with, again, summarizing forensic reports.
Yes.
Okay. The larger 229-page report indicates that there was some investigation done by your agency that involved interviewing associates of Mr. Robinson to see if you could develop some profile of him having animosity toward Mr. Kirk, correct?
I'm not familiar with that.
So you weren't involved in that at all?
No.
Some of the documents in that large report indicates that your agency has also, up to the present time, been monitoring Mr. Robinson's mail and communications at the jail, correct?
Correct?
And have you kept abreast of that investigation?
No.
Do you know whether anything of value has been developed as a result of that?
No.
That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Bird. Redirect. All right, may this witness be excused. All right, Sergeant, thank you.
Thank you.
Turning to the state.
Based on the testimonies and evidence presented during the preliminary hearing, the judge will decide whether there is sufficient probable cause for the criminal case to move forward.